in the same week that he saves astronauts with his rockets that he invented. Imagine that. He's building the coolest robots you've ever seen. Go online and look up Optimus. It is the coolest thing you've ever seen. We're all going to be buying robots. They're going to cost about $30,000. You're going to be buying a Tesla robot, and anybody who doesn't buy a Tesla robot is going to be silly.
The future we're headed for is one where you can literally just have anything you want. If there's a good or service you want, you'll be able to have it, and ultimately everyone in the world will be able to have anything they want. What's key to that is robotics and AI. So once you have self-driving cars and you have autonomous humanoid robots, where everyone can have their own personal C-3PO and R2-D2, but even better than that, that's Optimus, your own personal robot buddy that is a great friend, but also takes care of your house. We'll clean your house, we'll mow the lawn, we'll walk the dog, we'll teach your kids, we'll babysit, and we'll also enable the production of goods and services, basically with no limit.
Clone Alpha is a humanoid robot unlike anything we've seen before. Built by Clone Robotics, this machine is designed with synthetic organs, artificial muscles, and a structure that mirrors human anatomy down to the smallest detail. The company is now accepting pre-orders for the first 279 units of Clone Alpha, marking a significant step in their journey to bring lifelike robotics into homes and workplaces. What makes Clone Alpha stand out is its biomimetic design, which is a fancy way of saying it's built to imitate biological systems. Clone Robotics has developed synthetic versions of human organ systems. For instance, the robot has a polymer skeleton that mimics the 206 bones in the human body, complete with articulated joints and artificial ligaments. Its upper body alone has 164 points of articulation, with each hand, wrist, and elbow combination offering 26 degrees of freedom. The real game changer here is the muscular system. Clone Robotics developed something called myofiber technology, which uses artificial muscles that contract with water pressure. These muscles are soft and lightweight, yet powerful. This allows Clone Alpha to move in ways that are fluid and lifelike, a sharp contrast to the rigid, mechanical motions of traditional robots. The company claims Clone Alpha can perform a variety of tasks straight out of the box. It comes preloaded with 16 skills, such as memorizing the layout of a home, tracking kitchen inventory, and performing household chores like vacuuming, setting the dining table, and folding clothes. It can even pour drinks and make sandwiches.
This is a Noble Gold Investments alert. Gold has surged 46% in less than a year, doubling the gains of Nasdaq and S&P 500. Global reserves are shifting, exposing cracks in the monetary system. Investors are losing confidence in paper gold and demanding physical metal, creating a massive gap between gold owed and gold available. And you can profit from it. Right now, Noble Gold Investments has a limited supply of investment-grade gold bars and coins available. Smart investors are already moving into physical gold. Noble Gold Investments makes it easy for you to do the same. And right now, when you make a qualified investment, Noble Gold will add a free 10th ounce gold coin to your order. Don't wait until it's too late. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com now. noblegoldinvestments.com. Hey, Inspired Tribe, my fellow freedom lovers, John Nolan here. Thank you so much for tuning in. It is Monday, March 24th, 2025. Out of the Matrix into Prime Reality. Here it is. That's the mantra, the new mantra this year. And it's crazy that the third month of this year is almost over. I want to thank you and apologize. Thank you for your patience and apologize for our tardiness. Everything was a little upside down today, but here we are. For a very important show with some wonderful, wonderful news and opportunities, I think. But first, I think we have to look at something that is not just apparent, not just coming, it's here. We are at the cusp of it. And I found this little image here that I wanted to share with you. And that was created by a company called Salesforce, you know, and this sort of shows where the economy is really going into humanoid robots And think about these numbers here. Generalized robots represent a $26 trillion global revenue opportunity, apparently by 2030, which is crazy, 4.5 years. But generally speaking, the mainstream economy is moving clearly in one direction and one direction only. But there is something else that is emerging and that we will talk about more today and in the near future, because it is literally the most exciting thing if you actually look at it and study it and think about it. But first, let me show you this here, which might be interesting. This is where the mainstream economy is headed. Okay, so we're going to just do a little bit of an overview. McKinsey and Company, one of the world's most influential and well-known management and consulting firms, estimates that between 400 million and 800 million individuals worldwide could be displaced by automation and need to find new jobs by 2030. So we're talking 4.5 years. Here are the top fields where AI is likely to replace most humans by 2035. I won't go through everything. I will just say, like you see, data entry, scheduling, record keeping, customer service, transcription, basic tech support, order handling, all kinds of support center and call centers. Humans are going away already. Basic coding and software development, and this will only go faster, where humans will probably only do the polishing at the end. Content creation, we already see this, a staggering amount of AI run channels where humans are only doing the basic tasks in the background, but AI is running them. But AI could be running them completely autonomously. Finance and accounting, tax preparation, auditing, invoice processing, that is already available and already happening. It's just that people still traditionally use whoever they've been using, their CPAs or accountants. But there's going to be such a disruption in the next few years that it's gonna, even the emergence of the internet, I think, is gonna pale in comparison to what that's gonna do. Transportation delivery, you've all seen the Amazon drones, the UPS drones, the robots, and all of that is not only coming, it's here, ready for implementation. Of course, manufacturing, a lot of it has already gone to AI. Photography, basic design, we're sort of seeing the emergence of these logo and thumbnail and photo and image and video creation tools, where entire movies, maybe they already snuck one in there, but they will be created very soon, could be created by AI, even with dead actors. Especially if you were able to completely map them out beforehand, you're going to be able to have full-on movies soon. Education. Unfortunately, AI is moving fully into education. These robots are supposed to become your children's teachers, like Elon said, and banking, retail. So we're talking about roughly, like this company estimates, maybe up to 800 million people who will lose their job in the next 4.5 years worldwide. Think about it. That is, I think, a significant part of the working population. It is 10% of the total population, if the numbers are correct, which simply means that mainstream economy will only continue to function in the transitory stage with something called basic income. They call it universal basic income, but it will be conditional basic income. Let's not play dumb here. We know that. However, what is really more exciting is what we think is actually the future for people like you and me, and even upcoming young people who don't want to be part of that world, who don't want to depend on it, who don't feel like they're part of this robotic AI future. Or maybe they're just independent enough economically that they don't have to rely on that. Now, I will say this, and this is a big misconception, sort of as a segue into talking about this other economy that is already emerging, that we're already a part of. As a segue, I want to say that most people have unfortunately, a misunderstanding about what is the greatest driver for change in the world. And it is not religion anymore, used to be for that. It is not science. It is not charity work. The greatest driver for change is business. Business, or the economy, has been the biggest driver for change in recent human history, especially in the last 150 years, but also before that, of course. However, mainstream business and mainstream economy are built on fast return of investment, short-term gains, and profit over everything else, and these values will be optimized in the new AI-driven economy. The alternative is what we call consciousness economy, which is rooted in truth, in excellence, and in purpose. One where people matter more than profits, and every product, service, and exchange is a reflection of authentic human value. The consciousness economy is literally about win-win-win for everyone involved. If you go to a grocery store, supermarket today, in almost all nations of the world, 90% of the products there are literally not only worthless, they're also poisonous and dangerous, which is a beautiful representation of the economy at large. So 90% of those products have nothing to do with value, have nothing to do with well-being, have nothing to do with purpose, authenticity, or any of those things. They're solely created for a profit chain that will go from you consuming that product, you paying for it, you then becoming slowly sick because of those products, you needing big pharma products, you needing this entire industry chain. None of it is created for our benefit, right? Consciousness economy works in the completely opposite way, where only authentic, positive, natural, needed products or services that have value, true authentic value, are brought to the marketplace in order to bring about positive change in someone's life or help with that positive change. And people always say, why does business or money have to be involved? Because we live in an economized society. And for better or worse, that is the system that we have. Actually, this economized society can be turned into a beautiful consciousness economy society. It is only a matter of intention and higher consciousness. This is how we choose who we work with. This is how we choose to work. But here's the thing. No great idea can be implemented in our world. No great movement can be implemented if in the mid to long term, it does not also yield profits for those who create it, because they cannot sustain themselves, right? No matter how independent you are, for some things, in some ways, especially to bring ideas to people, you need money. So business is the greatest driver for change. This has worked so far in a not as favorable way for us, because many people looking at how bad actors use this principle to foster greed and foster evil, and they just say, oh, I don't want anything to do with the economy or with business or with money. Well, I think this is short-sighted. I think the same can be used and is being used amazingly for good. And it is a transition into a completely different way of thinking. So this consciousness economy rejects the illusion that speed, automation, and artificial intelligence are the highest expressions of progress or value. We choose craftsmanship over convenience, integrity over efficiency, and depth over distraction. This is an economy designed not to extract, but to regenerate, not to manipulate, but to inspire. It's a completely different way of thinking. In the consciousness economy, work is sacred. Products are made with care, not shortcuts. Marketing is honest, not persuasive. Growth is measured in well-being, not just numbers. In the consciousness economy, we honor the skills only humans possess: the touch of the hand, the nuance of empathy, the spark of creativity, the wisdom of experience. Here's the thing, too. When you listen to people like Elon Musk, whatever you want to believe about him, that's up to you, you will hear that his measuring of well-being is directly related to 100% materialism. He says the more goods and services that you can have and consume, the better it is. The truth is that research over and over and over shows that happiness is not a product of materialism beyond that which you need to live in a in a certain way of comfort. So what that means is when people have what they need and are living comfortably with what they need, food, water, shelter, warmth, and power are today, essentials too. When people have what they need and not worry and fret about their basic needs, happiness is a byproduct, and happiness can be expanded and well-being can be expanded. But more than that has nothing to do with happiness. So people that have more material goods are not happier because of it. Now, this has not really entered mainstream psychology yet, because people are being taught that having more and more and more and more and more is the only way to get happier and happier and happier. That's simply not true. Some of the happiest societies on average in the world are, materialistically speaking, not dirt poor, but definitely not wealthy in the Western sense. And some of the unhappiest societies are the wealthiest societies, America being at the top of those, where alcohol abuse, drug abuse, whether that's legal or illegal drug abuse, are at the top, right? So this shows us that we are not a happy society. We are not a society that enjoys great well-being, whether that's physical, spiritual, or mental health. And it is directly connected to an economy of pure greed. Now, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater and say we don't need any of it. Let's use the positive things that we can move in a different direction. In the consciousness economy, we honor the skills only humans possess. That is important. Here's what I predict and we predict right now, starting right now, today, March 24th. These skills will become more and more valuable and sought after. There will be an initial robotic and AI boom where everybody is going to be just absolutely stunned by what these humanoid robots can do, and they will be hypnotized. But very soon, very, very soon, people will crave authentic things that only humans can do and services that only real humans can provide. I'm not talking about the younger generation. Most of them will be hypnotized, but the others, right? People who have enough analog life experience, they will crave that. And they will soon realize that the products and the services that AI can provide have huge limitations. It has no intuition. It has no real feelings. It has no real consciousness. And those things are needed, because when a human being with a beautiful heart and intention and energy touches something, creates something out of something, right? A table. When a human being uses a living material, wood, and has a vision and an intention, and then he or she, starts working with it and puts love into it, it's not just a piece of wood, a table. It is something you can feel. You can feel the energy. You can feel the love. And every time that you sit at that table and enjoy a meal, you can feel it. You can feel how it's emanating. Now, that will become the most valuable thing for people who are sort of more repelled by the technology than they're attracted to it. So anything from woodwork, farming, permaculture, design, people will gravitate towards real teachers in those fields. Healing arts, body work, energy healings, herbalism. This will become, people will want that from real human beings. Authentic storytelling, teaching, mentoring, how books, AI can mimic writing, but it can never write a story from imagination and experience and craft it into an epic story where you just can't put the book down because it's so good, because it pulls you in. And as more and more books are AI written, there will be a huge difference between the ones that are not, and people will gravitate there. So if you have ever thought about becoming an author, a writer, someone who tells stories or writes stories. Own that skill. It doesn't matter what age you are. It will soon stand out. I predict that it will very soon stand out, and people will specifically look for human written stories. I'm not kidding you.
Plus, we need elders that teach the young ones, because
Yeah, we need elders that teach the young ones about real values, real wisdom, real truth, right? So, that's of course another side of this. Teaching, mentoring. Who here, whether you're a parent, a grandparent, or whether you're going to have children in the future, who thinks that a child learning from an AI or a humanoid robot is desirable? Who thinks that a child should sit in front of a screen to learn anything about life? I don't believe so. So I think we're moving to the place where the mainstream will go AI and the others will value real human teachers and mentors more than ever. If those mentors remain pure human in their thinking, in their being, if they see, okay, let the people go with this AI shit. Here we are, maybe that's 10, 15, 20% of the population. We think completely different. We're actually embracing our humanity. We're embracing consciousness. We're putting it at the forefront again. Conflict resolution, community facilitation, mediators, therapists, coaches, of course, regenerative building, natural home design. Yes, people will say AI can design that for you, but I'll tell you that once again, there's something about humans touching things and putting their love into it. Ethically made clothing, food, home goods, organic and local food systems, holistic wellness and therapeutic services. There's this idea that we're going to use solely machines in the future for healing, med beds, and all that stuff that's out there. And I will not say that there is not a use case for these things. But most physical ailments have at their very root an emotional and psychological root cause, right? Trauma, pain. Now, while frequencies and high consciousness fields can support us in our healing journey, they can't take care of that for us. We need other humans facilitate processes. We need to be in touch with a living, breathing consciousness to do that. Handcrafted furniture, conscious educations, retreats, workshops, tools for spiritual growth and inner work, those are all things that are going to be highly sought after in a consciousness economy. And there are the fundamental rules are sort of what one of our mentors taught us many years ago. He is what you would call self-made billionaire, completely self-made. I mean, of course, worked with people, but came from absolutely nothing, didn't have a name, didn't have money, and built something that is today employing hundreds of thousands of people. And to this day, when he mentors people, he tells them, if money is what you're after, if profit is what you're after, you most likely will not make it, will not have big success. And if you do, you will not be happy. And so he's always told us, you got to do what you love and you got to be excellent at it. And money and success are a byproduct. Now, that is very fundamentally, in a basic sense, the consciousness economy, but not quite. A few pieces are missing. And what I mean by that is, in this kind of economy, you look at what you can bring in terms of value. And then you ask yourself, how will that help the other person? Really? How will that really improve their lives? Does it solve a problem in a meaningful way? Does it help them with a challenge in a meaningful way? Does it give them a service that they could enjoy and that brings them overall well-being, right? So it has to be very or 100% positive driven. In other words, we are not accepting negative side effects any longer. We're not accepting sort of that just comes with the territory. we're working on products and services that actually are only good. And then when we work with people and when we tell people about these products and services, we speak the truth, because the truth is what connects us. And we tell the truth and we say, we love this. It helped us. It helped our family. We are authentic in this. We think this could help you as well if you're facing, X amount of challenges. And then the exchange of energy is where so many people struggle with that, either on the giving or on the receiving side. People say money is evil. Money is just our current use of exchange, our current instrument. The way that it was set up is very imperfect, and we've talked about this a lot. The way that it was manipulated, all of that is true, but money represents an exchange, a tool for exchange of value. So when someone provides a great service and you don't give anything in return on a long-term basis, that does not work out. Never. It creates an imbalance, right? So there's a pay it forward principle that works on a short-term basis. Someone provides a service for you, you give and pay that service forward, that works too, but only short-term. Long-term, there needs to be a direct exchange of value. Otherwise, there's an imbalance. That is an energetic principle. Has nothing to do with money, but in a conscious economy, we honor that, right? We honor the beauty in this, that there is an exchange of energy. However, nothing can be birthed solely from the desire for profit. Profit is a byproduct that is a result of pure intentions, highest quality, and excellence. This is a fully self-regulated thing, right? There's no arbitrary rules that you could put in there that would dictate that. It is people that have higher intentions, that understand that we need to walk this path. And I can only tell you that you might not see it yet, but within months and a few short years, real human skills will be so valuable, and people will be willing to pay a lot of money, to get a real human service. So even though AI will seem to replace a lot, there will be a field that will, I believe in the beginning, it will have not enough humans to fill it. And this is where people who have been wondering what they could do, or wondering if they could ever live their purpose and ever become what they know in their heart there could be and how they could serve, this is the time. Now, we're already working with people who have used business as a spiritual practice for years and who are on all levels achieving great successes with that. But we need more people to join this journey and really hone their human skills that only humans can have and become excellent at it, because we can build a whole parallel economy and a parallel system that is largely independent of the mainstream economy, largely, not fully. And when there is enough of us, very soon, and that's already in the works, alternative payment systems will appear that are independent of the big ones. Alternative means of exchange will appear that are independent of the big ones, and structures that are truly owned by the people who are active in this consciousness economy. Now, this is not just a theory. This is already what's happening. And because of the way the world is structured today, we all have our foot in both worlds still, but we're moving closer and closer to this timeline that we've talked so much about, that is natural and beautiful and organic. That doesn't mean it's without challenges. That doesn't mean we won't have to endure some things that are still coming. But start thinking about it in a new way. You will not be able to compete. And I'm talking from the mainstream person's perspective. You will not be able to compete with an AI-driven service that can do for them in 5 minutes what you would need 5 days for. Beyond friendship, beyond anything, people will start using these services sooner rather than later, because they save them a tremendous amount of time, a tremendous amount of money, And they will say, it just doesn't make any sense for me to hire a human and spend thousands of dollars when I can spend 120. Focus more and more of your energy into the things that only humans can do at that level. Creativity, arts, music, writing, right? Handcrafted stuff, medicinal stuff that is natural, energy healing, and those kinds of things. So yeah, this is where this is going. This is the consciousness economy. I believe the greatest opportunity for authentic and nature-minded people, and we have to build it up more and more every single day. Last but not least, this is a personal note. And this is part of sort of the consciousness economy, if you will, where Christine and I are buying the eggs and the excellent meat for our family. It's a farm close by, very close to here, and one of the young men that works there, it's part of the family, has had a very bad accident while at a roping event. And roping, for those of you who know, rodeo is not usually the most dangerous discipline in rodeo, but the horse slipped and rolled over him. He had a traumatic brain injury and has been in a induced coma, I think, for a few days, and he's been brought out of it. But he has a long journey back ahead of him, and beautiful energy, prayer, healing energy is absolutely appreciated by the family. They've been keeping us in the loop. And there's also a long sort of medical recovery going on. He's going to have to go to therapy, learn how to walk again, speak again. There's a lot ahead of this young man who's very resilient. But if you feel inspired to contribute to his medical sort of bills, there's a lot of them. We put a link in the description. It's greatly appreciated. If you can, of course, if you can't, don't even think about it. But if you can, it would be greatly appreciated. So yeah, my friends, thank you so much for tuning in, for being with us. I think this is exciting, actually, this consciousness economy, and more and more people are talking about it. More and more people are realizing that we can walk a different path and that we don't have to wait for anyone to give us permission. We just do it. We just do it in different ways. And I just want to say that Christine and I have valued two things over anything else. And that has led us to turn down 95% of any offers that we've ever received to partner with someone, because we either didn't believe in their ethics and values, or we didn't believe in their product, or both. And that's why we have very few partnerships that we value, where we know the people, where we have relationships, we know the authenticity, the integrity, and where we know they don't put money above quality and excellence. And this is how we've operated, and this is what has allowed us to keep this operation going. And that's why I said we're already in this economy. Now we would love for all of you to join us in your own way. Let us know what you're doing. Let us know what's in your heart or how you have been working. And maybe also let us know in the comments what's been holding you back, whether it is a belief about money or finances that is limiting, whether it is, this money is evil, and, you feel bad about charging for your service or anything like that. And we can maybe talk about it more. We do this kind of thing usually in the Inspired community on Locals, where we answer questions, read a lot of comments together on the air, and do shows that are more intimate, more in-depth, more personal. We'd love to see you there, inspired.locals.com. All right, my friends, much love, many blessings, and we'll be back with you again very, very soon.
Are you looking for like-minded and like-hearted people to connect with? Then the Inspired community on Locals is the right place for you. You can post, comment, share, and connect with others, and our shows there are completely uncensored and unfiltered. It's stuff we can't talk about here. It's such a great community, and there are zero trolls. We keep the subscription fees super low, so 19 cents per day keep the trolls away. Join us today at inspired.locals.com. We can't wait to see you there.